Money, Beth, for having come together and organizing this, what we call Unconference. This is for the first time that I'm attending an Unconference. I've had the privilege of attending many conferences, and I see many very nice, lovely faces. Some of you are very well known to me. My very dear friend Malini is here. Between Malini and I, we sat over the reins of national, uh, public schools conference, we call it NPSC, for 2 years each. We had a rotational chairmanship. I can see Colonel Prem here and many other faces, and thank you very much. When you made a format of this that there will be no one-way talk, then why do you have to invite somebody for a keynote? I don't understand that. However, probably even a chaos needs probably a calm start, I believe, and probably that is what you meant. Entrepreneurship is a very, very, it's just like this room. When I came here, it was almost freezing cold. And I requested one of the organizers, please do something, otherwise I'll have to run away from you. And then something was done. And when I came on the stage is so slippery that I will warn each one of you, if you come here, please be careful. So entrepreneurship is just like that, in my opinion. And that is exactly what I'm going to tell you. And how much time I have? 10 minutes, okay, fine. So I'll just weave some kind of a story. And I can assure you that at the end of the story, you will come out with no conclusions. Okay? That is what an unconference should be like. Okay? And then let me start with a story, a very small excerpt from the essay of a high schooler in Scotland. So there was a nationwide essay competition, and there was no topic given. And that boy, Harriet Sweatman, his name, young boy of 15 years old, and he wrote that when I began my schooling, I thought my school is a prison. And then I revised my opinion about the school, and then I thought that my school is a manufacturing house. And this idea is stuck with me for quite some time, and I felt that I was put on a conveyor belt of curriculum and pedagogy and tests. At the end of my school years, I was packaged with some A's and some B's, and then I was pushed into the market to get a job. And at the end of that, I realized that in the job market, when I came, there were a lot of attributes, qualities, specifications, and characteristics which I ought to have developed in the school, which I failed. And therefore, my advice to my educators and the policymakers is that please free the children of the curriculum choke load. That was his essay. There were very few lines from that essay. And that essay was the first prize winning essay. So this is one thought that I'm leaving you with. The second thought that I'm leaving you with is that India has made tremendous progress, all of you know. We should be very proud of it. And there was a time when we did not figure anywhere in the Committee of Nations, whether in terms of GDP, in terms of growth, in terms of job, in terms of research and innovation, in terms of top universities and colleges and institutions, and of course a lot of other indicators of human indices. We absolutely figured nowhere. But now if you find out almost on top human indices of development, India will figure out at number 2, 3, 4, 5. In any case, we are the 5th most developed economies in the world. So that is something very, very important. And educators, we must take a note of it, and we should be very proud of it. But what has happened is that we have grown in our economic size, but a matching job growth has not taken place. And there are two very important attributes to that. One attribute is that we have created jobs, but these are not the jobs that we ought to have created. And I'll just give you a couple of examples. Since we all come from education sector, let me tell you, what is your guess that how many B.Eds we require in this country every year? What is your guess? How many B.Eds we require? Anyone? Okay. 3 lakh. 3 lakh. And how many B.Eds we produce every year? Anyone? 15 lakh. Just imagine. And same thing we have done with engineering, same thing we have done with graduation and post-graduation. So this is what exactly I mean by saying that the job growth is there, but we have not created the jobs that ought to have been created. So this is one mismatch. A few years ago there was a statistic by LinkedIn that the Indian job seekers, they seek job on LinkedIn, and the highest job category which is sought on LinkedIn is engineering, which means everybody wants to become engineer only, and they are looking for the jobs which are on the engineering. So this is the second thought that I'm leaving you with. The third thought is, which is very, very important, that Beth, I don't know which year your university has started this entrepreneurship.
The school that started it?
Yes.
We've been doing it for 100 years.
100 years. No, not the school, the entrepreneurship course.
Really since the beginning, but in the 70s was when it became.
Yeah, so Babson must be one of the very, very exceptional cases. But anywhere in the world, just 2 decades or 3 decades ago, if you told anybody that I want to be an entrepreneur, you will land up in a counselor's room for some counseling. Yes, there is something wrong with this person, and this person wants to become an entrepreneur, right? And Shivani was just narrating this story, how the entrepreneurship has taken a big leap forward, And of course, in America, there was a movement, Startup America. Barack Obama started. In UK, there was Startup UK by Prime Minister Cameron. And of course, the Prime Minister Modi was no exception in 2015. He started Startup India, and he gave a very famous slogan that is startup and innovation are the instruments which will transform India. And no wonder that today the startup movement in this country has taken great strides. The number of unicorns in the country in the last 5 years has gone many times up. I think today the number is 150 or so. So therefore, I think now we are very, very vocal, we are very, very concerned, and we are very excited about what this entrepreneurship is all about. And therefore, if between 2005 and 2021, you do a little bit of a literature review about entrepreneurship and all the research papers that have been published as to what actually this entrepreneurship is all about, then you will find that the definition varies from leading an organization for profit, to making growth and innovations, to creating more opportunities for job, to managing risks, to managing uncertainties, to being in a position where you can take your own decision. All these attributes have come with regard to the entrepreneurship. And therefore, a literature review suggests that a common thread that runs across all discussions on entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial skill, they have 5 or 6 elements which are very, very important. And what are those 5 and 6 elements? Creativity and innovation. The second one is critical thinking. The third one is managing risk. Fourth one is profitability, yes, but profitability for social good. So these are 5 or 6 things. Adaptability, let us say, for that matter, and collaboration, working together. So 5 or 6 elements of the definition of entrepreneurship have come. And therefore, if one conclusion that if I have to make, I'll make is that entrepreneurship is not only about heading an organization, but entrepreneurship is developing these characteristics, developing these skill sets, which is very, very important. And the third thing which comes from the literature review of the entrepreneurship is that certain definitions have changed. And what are those definitions? The word is no more or no longer about being a boss. It is about being a leader. The second one is it is not about secretiveness. It is about openness. It is not about taking ad hoc decisions. It is about consensus, building a consensus. It is not about a simple business idea, but it is about developing a business plan with innovation. It is not only about as to what you can do, but it is about what you are inquisitive about. So these are the changes which are taking place in our workplaces, and therefore the simple implication for educators is that we have to do two things ourselves and one thing perhaps to the educators. A very famous musician or classical music, John Adam, he said that I am like a gardener. Like a gardener allows the plants to grow on their own without interfering with each other, but yet he knows at what particular time, day or season you have to trim it a bit. So entrepreneurship is that we have to allow our children to grow, to think, but to give them a guidance, and therefore it is necessary that we develop those mindsets ourselves. And two aspects of that mindset. One is that we have a growth mindset and we have what we call a curiosity mindset. That we must be inquisitive ourselves. We have to come out of those rigmarole or mundane routine of the classroom activity where we are very, very predictable. Children know what we will do today on the basis of what we did yesterday. It will be the same environment, the same class, as we call it as a cliche, one fit size, all sizes and something like that. So growth mindset and curiosity mindset, and then we have to make changes as to how to bring these qualities in our children. And therefore how we allow a project-based study, how we allow children to think, how we allow children to go out, how we allow children to solve a problem, how we allow children to think in terms of what we now call design thinking. Design thinking is a great desire to solve a problem. To solve a problem with great empathy. To have empathy and then to come together and find out various solutions to a given problem. And then discuss mutually as to which problem in a given context is the best option today. And therefore implement that problem, see the result, evaluate it, and then come back to the drawing table again and find out as to what went wrong and at what point of iteration we should go again and find a new solution. So these are the kind of things that we need to bring in our pedagogy, in our thinking process, in the new courses and curricula that we design, and then probably we will give an enabling environment and ecosystem to our students, and then only you will be finding them fit for the new age entrepreneurship that we are talking about. It is no more that if you did not have a work to do, you were known as worthless. There was a time like that also. Since the times are changing and we are encouraging children to do what they love, they should do it, and therefore we should also create in them those moments where they get inspired by what they say. We bring them the stories of the top people, we bring them the inspirations, we bring mojo moments in their lives and make the school life so interesting for them that they become the leaders, they become the drivers. Our schools are no more to be driven by the principals and educators. I think it is to be driven by the children, and we have to take a back seat, and that will sow the seed of entrepreneurship. And that is what probably the topic of discussion today. I'm sure you will come out with many solutions. You will come out with a lot of great ideas as to how entrepreneurship could become part of DNA of every curriculum that we pursue in our classrooms. Thank you very much.